for joining us here on Facebook, Zoom, as well as on YouTube. On this Friday evening, we are going to spend our time reading through chapter 8 of Bhagavad-gītā, and we'll do that momentarily after we finish these prayers to the spiritual master. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapad Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All right, so I know that there were a few more devotees who joined us while we were doing the prayers. So there was Kiran Goyal Mataji and Jyoti Mataji. So I have with me Sukomal Radhe, Vindyavali, Sutapa, Kiran, and Jyoti.
Mataji, Kiran Goyal Mataji will be on mute.
Will be on mute? Okay. Thank you for letting me know. And who joined us just now?
Aruni
Mataji joined us. Fantastic. Aruni. Okay. So shall we get started with our reading?
The order goes.
Are you putting the order on the side like last time, Mataji?
Yeah, that's what we need.
I will.
If it'll help.
It'll help or not help?
Help.
It will be help.
Because then they don't need to wait. They can see the name.
Help.
They can see the thing?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. Provided they are looking at the screen. Okay.
Where else should they look?
That's a good question. Where else can
Where can I see this?
Where can the mind take you? That's a good
Everywhere.
point. Okay, everywhere. Right. Yeah. Okay. Do you see that?
Yes.
Wow, small letters.
Yeah.
Oh, I am after Sukamala Mataji. I am done. That I know. That's very good.
Okay.
Sukamala Mataji.
That is, this one, lower one is last week's, right, Mataji? Yeah.
Say that again? Yeah, lower
The
one.
lower one is last week's, yeah.
Right. Because I have the names there, then I can keep easily copy paste rather than having.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard one more Vegan who joined us today. Varshana joined on our iPad. So Tapa is already there. Kiran, Jyoti, Vindyavali Mataji is already there. Aruni Mataji is already here. Who else is there? I heard a beep. Maybe it's Sutapa.
No, it's Varsha Mataji's iPad.
Aruni Mataji. Did you put Aruni Jyoti?
And Kiran Khosla Mataji.
Kiran.
Mataji, I just can't see the order.
Kiran
Khosla Mataji.
Kiran K. Okay, that was the beep, right?
Yeah.
Kiran Goyal cannot read, but Kiran Khosla can. That's how it goes. Okay, so are you able to see both of them?
Yeah.
Okay, and then who joined us just now? iPhone, Subodhini.
Hare Krishna, Shraddha Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Subodhini, Dandavat Pranam. Okay. So, can you see both?
Yeah, we can.
see. You can
All
see.
right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then let's get started.
Okay.
With Sukamalradi Mataji. One verse.
Attaining the Supreme, Arjuna inquired, O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the Self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me.
Who is the Lord of sacrifice, and how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service now know you at the time of death?
3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman and his eternal nature is called Adhatma, the Self. Action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. Jyoti Mataji.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute. Hare Krishna Ji. O best of embodied being, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation, the universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods like those of the sun and moon, is called Adideva. And I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of every embodied body, am called Adi Yagya, the Lord of sacrifice. Hare Krishna Ji.
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Hare Krishna Ji, whatever state of being one man remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kuntī, that state he will attain without fail.
Bodhini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah.
Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me. You will attain me without doubt.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
I think it's Madhura Singh.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path, he, O Partha, is sure to reach me.
One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, and who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature.
One who at the time of death fixes his life hair between the eyebrows and by the strength of yoga with an undeviating mind engages himself in remembering the Supreme Lord in full devotion will certainly attain at the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Persons who are learned in the Vedas, who utter Omkara, and who are great sages in the renounced order, enter into Brahman. Desiring such perfection, one practices celibacy. I shall now briefly explain to you this process by which one may attain salvation.
Hare Krishna Ji. The yogi situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of senses and fixing the mind on the heart, and the life here at the top of head, one establishes himself in yoga.
After being situated in this yoga practice and vibrating the sacred syllable Om, the supreme combination of letters, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planets.
Hare Krishna Ji. For one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain, O son of Pratha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Cannot see.
Subodhini?
Subodhini.
Yes, Mataji, it's not. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection.
From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery within repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains my abode, O son of Kuntī, never takes birth again.
By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night.
At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And therefore, when the night falls, they are merged into the unmanifest again. Thereafter, I'm sorry.
Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
Yet there is another unmanifest nature which is eternal and is transcendental to this manifested and unmanifested matter. It is the supreme and is never annihilated. When all in this world is annihilated, that part remains as it is.
That which the Vedantists describe as unmanifest and infallible, that which is known as the supreme destination, that place from which, having attained it, one never returns, that is my supreme abode.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is greater than all, is attainable by unalloyed devotion. Although he is present in his abode, he is always pervading, and everything is situated within him. Hare Krishna Ji.
O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain to you the different times at which, passing away from this world, the yogi does or does not come back.
Those who know the Supreme Brahman attain that Supreme by passing away from the world during the influence of fiery God in the light, and at an auspicious moment of the day during the fortnight of the waxing moon, or during the 6 months when the sun travels in the north.
The mystic who passes away from this world during the smoke, the night, the fortnight of the waning moon, or the 6 months when the sun passes to the south, reaches the moon planet but again comes back.
According to Vedic opinion, there are two ways of passing from this world, one in light and one in darkness. When one passes in light, he does not come back, but one passes in darkness, he returns.
Although the devotees know these two paths, O Arjuna, they are never bewildered. Therefore, be always fixed in devotion.
A person who accepts the path of devotional service is not bereft of the results derived from studying the Vedas, performing sacrifices, undergoing austerities, giving charity, or pursuing philosophical and fruitive activities. Simply, By performing devotional service, he attains all these, and at the end, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we'll pause here and take some reflections based on what you have read here so far.
Yeah, I just have a question. It says one who passes when Krishna talks about passing away during the light, passing away in the light and in the darkness. Is he referring to the waxing and waning of the moon, or the time of day, or what?
Everything, because he mentions that. And let's go back and have a look at that verse. So let me share.
No, that means when the moon is waxing and you pass during the night, does that mean that?
Yeah, it's combination and condition A and condition B and condition C.
But verse 27 stood out to me also. It says that even a devotee who knows these two paths are never bewildered, because once they are in devotion, it won't matter to them.
True.
No, but it doesn't say it won't matter. It just says
Therefore, he always is fixed in
devotion. But then he says, then it just says that those who accept the path of devotional service have to still perform all the other duties like sacrifices, etc.
No.
Mataji,
That verse is not saying that.
Is not bereft. Is not. Oh, I see.
No,
Okay.
it's not bereft of the
Yeah.
results,
Okay.
of the results, right?
Right.
Right. So, even if he doesn't do any of these things, he'll still get the result because he's doing devotional service. So,
Right.
Yeah.
But this doesn't refer to the passing away, because, simply by performing.
No. These two are not connected directly. These two are not connected directly, right?
But at the same time, it says simply by performing devotional service, he reaches the supreme eternal abode. So how does this tie in with that when you pass away, like Uttarayana?
How it relates is that this chapter 8 is talking about Hatha Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, right? Where a yogi has got an ulterior motive in doing meditation. Either they want some mystic powers or they want to go to a higher planetary system. So they will be performing meditations and various activities here. But what Krishna is telling is that if you are there, he's using the word mystic and not the word devotee here. Okay. So now he's saying that, a mystic who passes away from this life, now either you become such a powerful mystic that you are able to control your life air and the movement of the soul, so that the soul will not leave the body unless all the three combinations are met. Okay, why? Met, and then that way they will be able to reach wherever they wanted to go. They wanted to go to higher planetary systems because they realized that there's less opulence over here. They wanted some mystic power. Because they wanted to be powerful or whatever it is. They have got certain goals in life, certain desires which are aimed towards themselves. Yeah? And then, as Krishna is characteristically doing in almost every chapter of Bhagavad-gita, he will talk about this and that, and in the end he will say, oh, but we talked about all that, but you know what, devotional service is the best. He says that in chapter 6 also, right? 7, like that he continuously keeps on saying till he goes chapter 12, full blank, he's declaring it, to the whole world that devotional service is the best thing to do. So then he's saying, he's trying to tell you that how difficult it is to make all these combinations come true. And then even after that, what's going to happen? And in today's verse, we're going to talk a little bit about that, right? What he's emphasizing here is that although the devotees know these two paths of Arjuna, they were never bewildered. And why they will not be bewildered? Because their focus is not in ourselves. The reason we get bewildered mostly in our lives is because we wanted something for ourselves. We wanted some fun. We wanted some enjoyment, and that's not coming. I'm confused and I'm bewildered there. But when we are doing devotion, everything we are doing it for Krishna. So it doesn't matter. Right? And then Krishna also says, Karmanevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. So it's your duty, and then devotional service is also a duty. But they are not focused on the result. They are saying, I just do service for service, or I do devotional service for devotional service, and which is true love. Otherwise, there's an ulterior motive in doing anything, which is what we do when we try to appease the demigods by doing this kind of a yagya, that kind of a yagya, this katha, that katha we do, and there's an ulterior motive to all of them. And so what Krishna is saying in that 28 is that a devotee is not, knows that he's not bewildered by, because number one, he doesn't care. And The only thing that he cares for is that he should continue to do devotional service wherever he is. And mane janmane Ishware Bhakti Ahetuki Tvai. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in his Shiksha.
Shikshashtakam.
Yeah, so he says that. And so that's what he wants. All that he wants is to do devotional service to the Lord. So it really doesn't matter whether I'm rich, whether I'm poor. There are rich people who are devotees, great devotees of the Lord. There are poor also who are great devotees of the Lord. There are people of different caste, creed, race, color. They are devotees of the Lord. And those who are old or those who are young, they are devotees of the Lord. Those who are sick and those who are healthy, they are devotees of the Lord. And in contrast, there are also people who are healthy and are not devotees of the Lord. So a devotee of the Lord could be in any position in life. And because his focus is completely on Krishna, he doesn't even care. Vasudeva parasarve na kutaschina bhivyati swarg apavarganarkeshu atpitulyartha darshina. So Lord Shiva tells that to Parvati, and he says that, those who are pure devotees of the Lord, for them heaven and hellish planet are both the same, because you can do devotional service in both the planets. In one planet you'll get opulence, in one planet you will not get. But since the focus is not opulence, right? Since their focus is not opulence, then it doesn't matter to them whether this happens or, that happened or did not happen like that. And then further, he's saying that, okay, you know what? People are studying the Vedas. People are performing sacrifices, studying the Vedas to get some knowledge, performing sacrifice to get some earth, right? Some economic gains. People are doing that. But he's saying that if you do devotional service, you are not bereft of these results. You will get them. And Krishna, now the question is that, okay, if everybody who's doing devotional service will get the results that one gets from performance services, why are all the devotees not very rich? Right? Why are they not all very rich? They should all be very opulent or very nice, right? So once we start doing the devotional service, before that, in this material world, there is a law. There is a law of the material world, how this material world operates. There is a particular way in which this will operate. You have done this in the past, so now you will suffer. You did that in the past, now you're going to enjoy. So that's a fixed rule of this material world. It's going to happen no matter what you say. Right? That's why they say that if you are destined to get something, you will get it. Right? It's not that you won't get it, right? And it's not that you can prevent it. You will get it. That is how this material world is designed. That's the software running over here. But when one takes to devotional service of Krishna, and that is a devotional activity, which makes it a transcendental activity, it is not governed by the laws of material nature. And actually, when we are not in devotional service, where we are still hovering on the material plane, at that time, Maya will take care, because she knows all the algorithms, she knows all the rules and regulations. They will do this, do that, right? But when one takes shelter and surrender of Krishna, Krishna actually takes that devotee's life in his own hands. And so sometimes you will see that a devotee will continue to suffer. Externally, you might see that he's suffering and you might just think why this is happening to him. It is because Krishna is trying to remove the last vestiges of any attachments that a person had. So, and that's what Krishna is saying over here, that you will still get it, but in some cases he will not do. And then there's a famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, from the 10th canto. I think it's 10.8.88 or other way around. Let me just see. I think it's other way around, 10.8.88 or 10.80.88, where Krishna says that, I don't think 88 is, okay. Oh, again, it took that. Yeah, 8 doesn't have 88 verses. Okay, 10.80.8. I'm just forgetting what that number is. So if I remember,
80.8.
This is also not that. So what he's saying is that what Krishna says in that verse is that tasyaham anugrihnami harishyetad dhanam apay. So he says that anugrihnami. Anugrihnami means as a special mercy. He says, as a special mercy to my devotee, I will harishyetad dhanam api. I will take away all his material opulence. And then what happens when your material opulence is gone? Then all those peripheral relatives that you didn't even know, the 6th cousins, the 8th cousins who used to hang around you, they will go away. And you will be left with, then you will realize the transient nature of these relationships to which we were so attached, right? And when that attachment goes away, and we read in today's verse, right, that we need to get rid of the attachments that we have in life. So, and as Krishna is progressing through this chapter, as he's progressing through the Bhagavad-gītā, he's catering and he's giving an instruction not only just to Arjuna. Arjuna is a devotee, so he need not even hear chapter 8 or 7 or 6, right? That he can just hear chapter 12. But Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad-gītā to all kinds of people. And he's telling Arjuna also all kinds of things that are there in this world. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino Arjuna artha jigyasu artarthi jnani cha bharata rishabha. So there will be all kinds of people who will be there. And they'll be doing all kinds of things. But I'm telling you, which is the one that's going to give you an everlasting. And that's very important, You want, because we are ourselves everlasting. So let's go and aim for something which is everlasting. Let's not aim for something which is just, going to disappear in 1 minute, 10 minutes, 1 hour, a day, a month, a year, 100 years, 1 millennium, 12 millenniums, but ultimately it's going to go away, right? So let's not, so the fact that it goes away makes it transient. And so let's not focus on that. Let's go focus on something which is very, 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 very strong. Okay? So here also, in the verses that we are reading, we are in 16, right? So 15. Let's see what we were.
Mataji, I wanted to ask one thing. In the Shloka 24, it is written, those who know the Supreme Brahman attain the Supreme by passing away from during the influence of fairy god. I must say, please explain to me this fairy god in the light at the auspicious moment of the day. Light and what is the meaning of auspicious? I mean, say, is it referred to the something which is in the south, that Gulika?
All of that, right? That's what Arni Mataji was also asking, right? So, so number one, what he's saying is that you pass away from the world in several, you could be passing away when the sun is in the northern hemisphere, right? So in one year, the sun goes to northern to southern, again northern and southern, like so 6 months. So the 6 months that the sun is in the south is not a good period for those who are trying to attain to higher planetary systems or mystic powers, right? That's one. Then he's saying, and during the fortnight of the waxing moon, that is the Shukla Paksha, when the moon is increasing in size, all the way up to Purnima. After that, it starts decreasing till it becomes Amavasya, right? So if a person dies when it is the Krishna Paksha, not good. It has to be the Shukla Paksha, right? And in the light, in an auspicious moment of the day. So in the day also there are moments, right? Certain parts of the day are not good, not auspicious, right? So they are not.
How do you know that? How do we know that it's good or not good?
You'll read pañcāgni, you'll read all that, right? You will find this tithi is good, this muhurt is good, that muhurt is not good, So there are periods of the day when things are not good. Every day there will be a good period, a bad period. Yeah,
that is something like Gulika, Yam Kundam, or something like that.
All those things they do, yeah. Okay. All those things they will do, yeah. But it is super complicated, right? And even if you know that this is a good moment, do you have the power to leave the body?
No, not at all.
Yeah, but then mystic yogis will have, very highly exhausted mystic yogis will have that power, okay?
And what is it, the light?
The light is that, whether it was the morning part of the day or the evening part of the day. The fiery god is, the moon and, not the moon, sorry, the sun. Yeah. Sun gives you fire and light both, right? Heat and light both. So you have to pass, when the Suryodaya has happened, and then before the sunset, between sunrise and sunset, you should die. And between those 12 hours or 6 hours, whatever it is, that also it should be auspicious moment. And then when you're looking at the moon, the moon should have been increasing at that time. So it should be Shukla Paksha. And then, okay, which month? Well, only those 6 months when the sun is in the northern hemisphere. So you do all that.
Thank you, Mataji.
Somebody joined us? Deepika. All right. Devi Kumari. All right. So, so what I was saying was that if we go here, I'm just trying to bring up our reading order. Well, we'll just finish reading, Devi Kumari. How about else?
Sorry, Mataji. 6:30 is the time, right, Mataji?
No.
Oh. Oh, okay. Sorry, Mataji. It's my mistake.
No problem. Right. So going back to the chapter that we have. So I was going back and I was just saying that Krishna tells Arjuna, who is not ready to fight. Okay. So way back he's saying that that you should be, one who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Parth, is sure to reach me. So he has told him that, right? He's also telling that how should you think of me? Kavin Puranam Anushashitaram. That verse is there, right? And then he's saying, okay, now if you want to mechanically, control, then fix your life air and all that kind of stuff. And then also you should be uttering the Omkar. So you should be taking the holy names of the Lord during your life. Okay. You should also be detached right here. Detachment from all sensual engagements. Closing all the doors to the senses. And we had talked about that when we said that closing the doors of all the senses means that you're closing the doors to the fact that you're using your senses for your own enjoyment. But you are allowed to and recommended to continue to use your senses for the pleasure of Krishna. Like that, right? So he says that you do that. And then here he's saying that at the time, if one thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and quits his body, he will certainly reach the spiritual planet. So here he's saying that you have to think about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay. And then he's also saying that if you always remember me with devotion, it's not such an easy thing. Krishna makes it sound as if it's easy, but he says, for one who always remembers me without devotion, I'm easy to obtain, O son of Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. Okay. Now, what we did last time was that he said, after attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries. And what was the word that we used for this temporary world, which is full of miseries? There was a particular word that we were using.
Ashashvatam.
Yeah, Ashashvatam and
Maya.
Misery is dukhalayam,
Dukhalayam, Ashashvatam, Mrityulok.
Ashashvatam, right? Yeah, so we had used the word Dukhalayam and Ashashvatam. So here, when Krishna is saying that you remember me without deviation, okay? Now he's telling you, he's going to talk about certain things so that will act as an impetus for you. As an impetus for you to turn your engagement, your mind's engagement in towards Krishna. He's saying, okay, you want to indulge in this material world, you want to do this, that, and that. Remember, this is a world which is full of miseries. So although you might think that this is happiness for me now, after some time it becomes my source of unhappiness. Okay. Right? So he's telling you, and then also suppose you get everything goes very nice with you, and suppose you are getting all the pleasures in life and you're extremely happy. He's again telling you from another perspective that do not get too much hooked onto that concept, because this is a temporary world. Right? So even if you were a billionaire in this life, you could become, all that will be taken away from you in just one blink of an eye, because it's a temporary world. And one doesn't know what's going to happen to you in your next life. You can't come back and say, this, I was a billionaire here, this house belongs to me in my previous life, so this belongs to me now also. It doesn't happen like that, right? And then in today's verse, right? Today's verse is also continuing on to give you more impetus on why you should pray to Krishna. Okay? And then you will realize that the thought process of let me leave this earth when the moon is here and waning and waxing, and then sun is in the northern hemisphere and all that kind of stuff, right? So here he continues on, and in today's verse he's saying, ā-brahma-bhuvanāl lokāḥ punar ā-avartino rjuna upetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. ā-brahma-bhuvanāl lokāḥ punar ā-avartino rjuna upetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. ā-brahma-bhuvanāl lokāḥ punar ā-avartino rjuna upetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. So let's see what the synonyms mean here. ā-brahma-bhuvanāl. ā-brahma-bhuvanāt, up to the Brahmaloka planet. Okay. Lokāḥ, the planetary systems. Punaḥ, again. āvartinaḥ, returning. Arjuna, O Arjuna, ma, unto me, upetya, arriving, to, but, kaunteya, O son of Kuntī, janma, rebirth, na, never, vidyate, takes place. So, what's the Sanskrit for up to Brahmaloka planet?
O
ā-brahma-bhuvanāl.
Brahma-bhuvanāt.
ā-brahma-bhuvanāt, right? Okay. So now, that's the key word. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kuntī, never takes birth again. Okay, what a nice guarantee. All that we need to do is take to his abode and work towards that aim. Okay, because then, it's such a nice contrast. He's saying that, okay, this material world is miserable and birth and death both are miserable. We know that. But if you do devotional service, you will come to my planet and you will never take birth again. So that's a very, strong promise that he's making. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that all kinds of yogis, karma yogi, jnana yogi, hatha yogi, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. So you have to be a bhakti yogi to do that, to be able to reach that goal. Karma yoga, jnana yoga, hatha yoga, you might just wander here and there in this material planet. Maximum, you might go to the Brahma Jyoti, but again, you'll come back. Okay? Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to birth and death. So the highest, so like we are in the middle planetary systems, and above are the heavenly planets, and among the heavenly planets, the topmost is where Brahma lives, right? The lotus-shaped planetary system, that is Brahmaloka. So he's saying everywhere, even if you attain Brahma's planet, the planets of the demigods or the planets of demigod like Indraloka, Candraloka, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, or Indraloka fall down to earth. Right? So people will go up and they'll come down like a Ferris wheel. The practice of sacrifice called pañcāgni-vidyā, recommended in Chāndogya Upaniṣad, enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baladeva Vidyābhūṣaṇa, in his commentary on the Bhagavad-gītā, quote this verse: Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte prati sanchare parashyante kritatmanaha pravishanti param padam. When there is devastation of this material world, pralaya, Brahma and his devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. Okay, so again here, Krishna is giving the contrast. Number one, he said that every place over here is a place of misery. Right? And it is temporary place of misery. And if somebody was thinking, oh, maybe he's just talking about the planet Earth, right? Where we are. Maybe this is a place of misery. Maybe if I go a little bit out of the orbit here, out of the atmosphere, I might achieve some peace. He's saying, no, even if you go all the way up to the highest planet. Okay? Now, on the highest planet, there is Brahma. Okay. Now, what does Brahma do? He is the engineer of this universe, right? And he represents the mode of passion, which is the things get created through the mode of passion. Okay. So anybody who has a lot of passion in them, desire to do things, desire to create things, and they live according to the set scriptures for 100 births, and they do certain number of Rajsui, Yagyas and all that, they will get promoted and they will become Brahma in either this planetary system or some planetary system. They will become Brahma, right? That is the law of material nature. If you do this, you will get that. If you don't do this, you won't get that, right? So if you fulfill all these things, then you will get that. That is law of material nature. For example, Ravana, right? He did certain things and then he was forced to get, right? To get whatever he wanted, whatever benedictions he wanted. He will get that. That's the law of material nature. Okay. So here he's saying that ā-brahma-bhuvanāl. So when a person is elevated to a position of Brahma, he could be a person in pure mode of passion and who did all these things, the prerequisites, met all the prerequisites, then he will be promoted there and he'll be told, okay, fine, you continue. I'm giving you a bigger realm to manage now and a bigger job of creating things in this universe, right? Brahma creates things in the beginning, right? So he can just continue to do that and do pious activities and all that, right? Whatever is required as a prerequisites. But if he doesn't focus on Krishna, then what's going to happen when he dies? He will come back. He could come back as an ant. Anything like that, right? Anything like that could happen. However, a person can be in the mode of passion, right? You see in the temple also, some devotees have a lot of passion. They want to do this, they're cleaning, doing this, they want to organize things, all that. They're doing a lot of it, but they are devotees of the Lord also. So that person can also become Brahma if he meets the prerequisites, but then that Brahma will be a different Brahma. So when he reaches the Satyaloka, the Brahmaloka area, then over there also he will continue to do devotional service, right? And then what was the verse that we read? Yanti deva vrata devan pitrin ranti prithivrata bhutani yanti bhutejya yanti maj yajinopi mam. So he says that those who worship the demigods go to the planets of the demigods. Those who worship ancestors go to the planet of the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will go to the planet of where ghosts and spirits are there. But one who worships me will come to me. That's what he says, right? So that means that people who worship Brahma, right? And there is Brahma's worship that happens, right? Even in India, there is Brahma temple and people do worship him, right? So where will they go? Whoever you are worshipping, whoever you had faith in, you will go there. So those people will also go to Brahma. Now, when you are worshipping Brahma, you could be worshipping Brahma from two different modes. You could be worshipping Brahma with the fact that, oh, he's such a powerful person, he manages this world and all that, this universe, so I also want to become like him, let me please him. So that's one way of worshipping. Another way of worshipping Brahma, how we look at Brahma, right? We recite the Brahma Samhita, we read 10th canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, where there are pastimes of Brahma. We read all that in a very different light, right? And so if the Brahma is a devotee of Krishna, and we are looking at Brahma as a devotee of the Krishna, we will go to Brahma planet, of course, because of the verse, Yanti Deva Vrata Devan, whichever demigod you worship, you will go to that demigod's planet. But because that Brahma is a devotee of the Lord, and you are also worshipping him, right? Devotee association. So he will, when you go to his planet, he'll also teach you how to do worship of Krishna. And now because all of you together are doing worship of Krishna, so when the universal devastation happens, when this whole universe is annihilated, right? At the time of Brahma's death, this whole universe is annihilated. So at that time, Brahma will go back to Godhead, and everybody else on his planet will also go back to Godhead who has been worshipping him, right? So Krishna is again telling that even if you think that I'm going to go to the topmost planet, there is no guarantee that the Brahma there is a pure devotee of the Lord. He could be, in the mode of passion like that. So best bet for all of us, and the safest thing to do for all of us, is to just focus on Krishna. Why go here and there, and why put ourselves in such a precarious position, right? I will just focus on Krishna. Why should I take such a difficult path of, holding my breath and doing pranayam and doing this and doing that? I will just perform what is my prescribed duty for me to do in this particular yoga. And that is to chant the holy names of the Lord. And I will be carried back home on the strength of the holy name that's going to take me back. Why would I not want to do that? Right? So, so when we read this and when we understand this, then our desire to focus more on Krishna consciousness and realizing the futility of focusing on the material world, right? So we will be impetused by or encouraged by Krishna to go worship him, right? So that is the essence of today's chapter, and I'll open up again for questions that we have.
Yeah, you know, I have a question. I have difficulty with this term devotional service because it's all very subjective, right? I mean, there are people who, you know, might be engaged in various forms of service to Krishna, but they may not necessarily do it with the devotional frame of mind. So I guess Krishna is talking about what's coming from the heart, right? But at the same time, this will be interpreted as people doing service where they perform various things, like maybe looking after the temple, any temple, I'm not talking about this temple, or, you know, offering puja and things like that. But it may not be coming, you know, truly from the heart, or the mind is not fully engaged in it, even though you're going through the motions. And they might think, okay, because I'm doing this service, okay, I'm there already. I don't have to worry about anything else because I'm on the path of devotional service. So therefore, you know, I will attain that state regardless of when I die and so on. But that may not be it, right?
Correct.
So it might be safer to follow all the, you know,
No,
observe all the.
No. That's where the difference is. Our focus should not be on increasing the quantity, because that will lead to confusion, right? I'll do this, I'll do that, it will be overwhelmed, and then we will run away and not do any of it. Our focus should be on pure devotional service. And that is why when we do devotional service, we are encouraged to get a little bit of knowledge also, to be able to distinguish between what is devotional service and what is pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavitam anukulyena krishnanu sevanam bhakti uttama, right? The devotional service is devoid of anything that we have. So in your heart, you know that. Having said that, doing service to Krishna in a temple, even if a person did half-heartedly, you know, or did it for his own glorification, right? It does not go wasted, because Krishna is so merciful. Krishna is so merciful. He says, okay, what he'll do is that he tries to just take the best and ignore the bad which was there, right? And because Krishna is picking up the best from you, he will give you his mercy. So it might not happen instantaneously with them, but those people will also ultimately reach back to Godhead. They might take a little longer time because, you know, it was a mixed thing. The devotional service was not pure. It was alloyed with a little bit of a material desire here and there. But still, they are devotees. They are better than non-devotees, like that, right? So if you think that you know, I'm not, or somebody is in a situation where they're not doing everything very purely, then they should aim towards making it pure. And how are you going to make all that pure? So the question is, where is the dirt? First, right? We are saying somebody is impure, his devotional service is impure. So where is the dirt? Where exactly does dirt reside? Go ahead, Vaishnavi.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I had read about Meera by a long time ago, though she was, and now I came to know that she was into Mayavad, this thing. But at the same time, Mataji, she had pure devotional service towards Krishna. When Rana Pratap had sent her the bowl which was mixed with a poison, and the Vaidya told her that this is an amrut from Krishna I have brought. And she said, and the maid came and told her that this has a poison. She said, no, he told me it is an amrut. So if it is an amrut, it is a pious thing, I'm going to drink it. She drank it, and Rana Pratap thought that the Vaidya did not mix the right medicine, the poison into it. And he called him and told him to lick that bowl where little drops were left, and he died immediately. And her purity was so much, Meera's purity was so much towards Krishna. Her love towards him was so pure. And that is why she prayed to Krishna and said that he will die because of me. Krishna, please save him. And he was saved. So Mataji, there I come to know many a times now when I am praying in my temple or I'm chanting, many a times I feel that I am not into it. I need to get into every syllable, then only it is pure devotional service. I know it is not pure. So I cannot expect from Krishna that I am a pure and you're not taking me, you take me to your abode. No, I'm not that pure. I'm not a right candidate to go there, I feel. So I have left it to Krishna. Whatever he wants to do, he will do with me. I have nothing against whatever he will do. I know he loves me. So whatever he does, he will do the best.
Right. Yeah, sharing. Thank you for sharing that. It's always a good, it's always a safe position for a devotee to think like that. Because the moment we start thinking that I am something because I do this, this, and this, then pride comes, right? And then pride is a deterrent towards devotional service. Mad, Matsar, Kam, Lobh, Krodh, right? The 6 Vegas that we have. And so that is there, right? Two small things I wanted to point out is that in Sanskrit, which we speak, the word is amrit, like a re and not amrut. In Sanskrit, there is no ru. The ru is not there.
So that's why
It's
right.
amrit. Yeah, it's amrit.
Amrit.
Yeah, amrit, right? And also, Rana Pratap was not Mirabai's husband.
So he was her brother-in-law.
Yeah. So husband was giving, whatever he was doing, he was some Rajput or something like that, right? So, and I don't know, it's the first time I'm hearing that Mirabai was a Mayavadi, and anyway, we don't focus too much on that part of it. Mirabai, for whatever she was very exalted devotee of the Lord to be able to do all that. And so like I was saying that it's good to be humble. That's a good trait to have. But my question was that when we were talking about pure devotional service, my question was that where do we, if it is impure, then there is some impurity or dirt. I was asking, where does the dirt lie?
Mataji, that's why I said that when I think about my own self, when I was reading, when I read about Meera, and now when I was thinking about it, I felt that nowhere close to that, you see, that devotion.
That is fine, but my question
I'm
is that
impure.
whatever dirt, no, my question is that, sorry, I have to interrupt. Whatever, so you are accepting that you have dirt, right?
Yes.
My question is not about acceptance. My question is, where is the dirt?
Mataji,
In my thoughts, in my heart.
Yes. Somebody else was saying something.
Yeah, Mataji, same thing. Actually, if we don't know something, how can we judge on others? So that dirt is actually in our mind. We have that perception, and with that dirt only, with that glasses, we see the other person that they are doing this or there. So actually, it is our impurities which we see in others.
We see in others, right? Yeah. So in order for us to move from an impure devotee or an alloyed devotee, as some alloy is happening, amalgamation is happening with the mature world, to a pure devotee of the Lord, I have to remove the dust, right? And you all said that the dust is in your mind. Right?
Yeah.
And very famous thing, as Prabhupada says, that just as, in India, they use the dhunna, who goes twang, 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 and he goes through the cotton. And so when people have these old quilts and all that, he will go from door to door, open the quilt and run that thread, that string through the cotton, and the cotton becomes very fluffy, and all the dirt that had gone into the cotton falls to the ground. So when you vibrate something, the dust falls down that we see. Right? Even when you have to clean the carpets, what do? You take them out and you beat them with a stick so that it vibrates and the dust falls down. right? So if you vibrate something, the dust goes away. That's the idea. So that is why they say you start vibrating your tongue with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and hear it so that that vibration goes from your ear. It'll go to the heart where the dirt is lying, and it'll vibrate your heart. And then the cleaning process will happen. It's a mystical thing. It's very difficult to understand because nothing like that happens in the material world. I mean, the closest I'm saying is that dirt from the rugs and things like that. But then to say that, okay, by just chanting the holy names of the Lord, I'll become a pure devotee, you will. You will. That's the yoga dharma. That's the power of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There's the power of the name. All that we need is to have faith in the holy name of the Lord. And how will you get faith? You will get faith by hanging around with those who have got faith. Hang around with them. Hang around with people who say, okay, come, let's do some chanting together. Bring your friend, do some chanting on, holidays and special days like that. Seva also helps us purify. Why does Seva at the temple help you purify? Why does cleaning your own home versus cleaning the temple purify your heart, right? It's the same cleaning. It's the same.
Darpanamarjanam.
So how does it differ? There's a big difference, right? When you're cleaning it in your own home, usually you are the boss. You will decide which room
you
to
do
clean.
it for others. You are doing it for others, not for yourself.
You're doing
Selfless
for
service.
others. Nice point, right? And then also, so number one, you're doing it for yourself. Number two, over there, you're doing it for others. So it becomes selfless, right? So there could be a little bit of self also involved. I just want to see people like, oh, you know what? I'm such a big position in my company, and look what I'm doing here for Krishna. I'm sweeping the floor. So that thought can come. His mind is a monkey, right? So that is one. The second thing is that while you're working in the temple, some senior Vaishnava will come and tell you, give you left, right, and center, and then point out mistakes at what you thought was the most beautifully clean floor. And guess what? Because that person is a senior and you respect, and then the Vaishnavas, you will keep quiet. That is when the humility gets generated, and we get into that mood. And that's why in his Sikshastak, only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote 8 verses, and they are so powerful. Trinadapi sunichina taror eva sahashruna amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. Right? So for you to do kirtanya sadahari, you also need some humility. Right? And that humility comes from service, because when you are a servant, so many times you'll be humiliated. And when you learn not to retaliate, it is you who is getting more strong and not the person who's humiliating you. We won't even go there. You never know why Vaishnavas behave in a certain way, why they say certain things and why they don't say like that. But we look at ourselves. So that much of swartha gati we should have, that much of selfishness we should have, the selfishness to improve myself. That selfishness is okay. I want to improve like that. So we do that. So chant, hang around with people who chant, hang around with people who are devotees of the Lord, and that will purify our hearts. And that will make your devotional service pure, and then you'll go back to Godhead, right? So that is the approach. And because in this yuga, they're saying you do that only. In this yuga, if you say, I'm going to do meditation, I'm going to do yajna, I'm going to do this and that, won't have that effect like that. So there's a very beautiful verse, and I will top off this lesson for today from that. And this is again from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and I'm just trying to remember. It is when Brahmaji is praying, so that would be chapter 14, and I think it's 7 to 28. Let me bring that up. Where are we? Okay, it says be Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 14, 15.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So the one when you say meet a senior devotee and they tell you and you keep quiet, so you explain the characteristic of Uttam Adhikari, right?
Not necessarily Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari is not defined. That is not one of the parameters for defining Uttamadhikari. Uttamadhikari and Madhyamadhikari and Kanishtadhikari, there are other traits for them. How we go and define them. It's based on the faith. It's based on the knowledge of the Shastras. And that combination makes them, Uttamadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari sees everybody as the same, right? So being humble is not the same as seeing everybody as the same. A Madhyamadhikari, distinguish between this is good and this is bad. So the interesting thing is that when it comes to preaching, Uttamadhikari is not in a position to preach. Why? Because he looks at a bad person, he looks at a good person, so-called bad and so-called good, and says, oh, but this is a soul, that's a soul. This is a part of Krishna, that's a part of Krishna. That's fine. But a Madhyamadhikari distinguishes between those, and then he will preach to the good and he'll preach to the bad, both like that, in a different manner. And so being humble is not necessarily that you are a Uttamadhikari. What I'm saying is that humility could be there even in a Kanishtadhikari. Even a very junior devotee could have humility. It's a different trait there. But yes, of course, as you progress in devotional service, the humility will increase so much that there is a whole book on Danya where Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written, and he's talking all the time about, like, he sees so much of dirt in himself. And he's always saying that I'm, like, so fallen, and it is your mercy I'm so fallen. And when you rise in your devotional service, from becoming critiques of others, we start to become critiques of ourselves. Because we know that if we want to change the world, if you point a finger at your neighbor, there are 3 more pointing back at you. Right? So they'll say, okay, let me purify this one first, to which 3 fingers are pointing, then I will go and do something about that one. Like that, right? And then somebody also pointed out that there's a thumb which is pointing upwards to tell you that there is God that you should refer to. Like that.
My mother always used to tell that if you're pointing one finger to other side, 3 fingers are pointing to you. Correct yourself.
Yeah.
That's how my mother used to teach.
What was that verse you were going to say?
Oh, Samasate. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Let me bring here. Can you see that?
No. Yeah. Now.
See?
Samasriti
Padapallavam Mahatpadam Punyayasho Murari Bhavambudir Vatsapadam Param Padam Padam So see what a musical verse this is, right?
That padam is more they used in this.
Right. Yeah. So basically what he's saying, Brahma is saying, that for those who have accepted the boat of the lotus feet of the Lord, who is the shelter of the cosmic manifestation and is famous as Murari, the enemy of the Mura demon, the ocean of the material world is like the water contained in a calf's hoof print. So when you take to this devotional service, now Krishna is saying, ā-brahma-bhuvanāl lokāḥ, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. He's constantly telling you that this bhav-sagar, this material ocean, is full of and all that stuff. And so you might just say, oh, I need to cross over this big ocean. I have to go to the other side. How can I even cross over that big ocean? What kind of a boat or an ocean liner I need to bring? A Titanic or what to survive in this? But he's saying that no. You just take to the feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, those feet will act as your boat. And when you are hanging on to that boat, or when you are aboard that boat, then this whole material ocean will shrink down to the size of the water contained in the calf's hoof print. So what that means is that if you take a calf and have the calf walk on the sea beach, right? So when there's a depression, then a little water puddle forms over there, right? Such a small water puddle. So he says then the whole ocean sinks down to such a small size that you will be able to cross it. But you have to be on the right boat. And that boat is Krishna's lotus feet. And such people who do that, why? Because their goal is Parampadam and not ā-brahma-bhuvanāl from here all the way up to the top. No. Right? They want to go to Vaikuntha, a place where there are no material miseries, and they don't want to stay at a place where there is danger at every step. At every step there is a danger, isn't it? So param padam yat vipadam natesham. Right? For them, they won't want this particular place.
Very step. Vipadam material miseries.
Mataji, I have to go, so I need the permission.
Mataji, is this 10:14:58 you said?
10:14:58, yeah. And just give me 1 second, I'll be right back. need to address something here.
Thank you, Mataji, for the class. Thank you.
Coming and joining.
What happened?
She's coming back, Mataji. Hold on.
Oh,
Just
okay.
for 2 minutes. Mataji. She's coming.
She must have got some phone call or something.
Okay, yeah. So any other questions, thoughts, reflections?
So this is Brahma. Brahma said this shloka, Mataji.
14, yes.
Hmm.
10:14 is full of very beautiful verses. Tatyanam kampam susamishamano is also from there.
Oh, that one is also in that. Okay.
Jnane prayaso udapasya namanti eva, that is also from there, yeah.
So
Brahma's
all
prayers
these
are very
Brahma said, all these slokas Brahma said, or only
Yes.
one?
all these,
All of them.
yeah, yeah.
But that means this is different from Brahma Vimohan Leela. That
After
Brahma,
Brahma Leela, he will do prayers also, right? The Brahma prays to Krishna at many times.
yeah, this
Yeah.
one is also Brahma Samhita also.
Yes. Brahma Samhita is actually the beginning. Then Brahma is born and he doesn't understand anything, and then Krishna gives him the gyan and initiates him, right? He gives him the Gayatri mantra. And after that, then Brahma recites the Brahma Samhita. Because
only 10th chapter or anywhere else?
Many other places he's talking. He will also go, for Krishna's birth, he will go with other people. So Brahma's prayers are there. But these ones are very beautiful. I like for chapter 14. Very beautiful, very musical. And as you read through the verses of, when you read Brahma's prayers in Sanskrit, they are difficult. They're high-level Sanskrit that he speaks.
Yeah.
But simple Sanskrit, yeah. Because he's
Hare
Brahma.
Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, what is the number of this rhythmic verse? I would like to read it many times.
10, 14,
58. He said.
58.
Huh?
10, 14,
58.
That's beautiful sloka. Pada pallavam, padam padam pallavam, like that. Padam padam comes many times in that.
Yeah.
Padam padam vipadam.
Yeah.
Beautiful sloka.
But even, apart from the music, we also need to focus on the content.
Words,
Right? Content also, that how beautiful saying that you have taken the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Yeah. And they are the feet of Lord Krishna.
What is it says? You take your lotus feet of Krishna
as the boat. If you
as
take
the
boat of if you take the lotus feet of Krishna, the shelter of the lotus feet, which is like a boat, then that boat will help you cross over the material ocean by shrinking it to the size of a
calf's footprint.
Footprint on the sand, right?
There is another one is also there, calf's footprint side.
Yes, there's one more. I can't recall that. Yes,
I'm not able to remember that.
Srila Prabhupada had written.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada said.
Yeah, no. From in Bhagavad-gītā also it is there.
Yeah, calf's
Bhagavad-gītā
footprint.
That verse, yeah, calf's footprint. He uses it two times. I think in Canto 10 itself he brings that up. Yeah.
If we hold, there's another thing I don't know where I read. If we hold that Gomata's tail, she will make you cross the Birasa River. That's what I heard somewhere. I don't know where. Forgot.
My mother-in-law also said the same thing to me. That you.
So that's why you should pray Gomata, and you should donate for Gomata like that. That's a very, and then especially in this Kartik Mass, it's very, very good to do that. All that.
Then she can lend us her tail to cross.
So if you hold her tail, she will make you cross.
Hare Krishna Mataji, one way one feels very at peace in the sense that coming to Krishna consciousness, understanding a little bit who Krishna is, at least it has given the assurance that
something good will happen.
That has to come, let it come. And whether it is in the Shukla Paksha or Krishna Paksha or whichever time, it does not matter, because so many people die during that period, and one will surely will go to Krishna. So it is basically our devotional service which matters the most, and what we think at the moment of death.
Yeah, at the last. Yeah.
And the most important thing that you have to think is that what did it say, that ā-brahma-bhuvanāl punar āvartino Arjuna mam upetya tu kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. So he's saying that if you come to me, then you won't have repeated birth and death.
Yeah.
So for you to have achieved the human form of life, right? This is surdurlabham. It's very difficult to get the human form of life. For you to get the human form of life, and after getting the human form of life, if you are taking birth again in this material world, it's really a catastrophe, because that means that we did not utilize our human body to its fuller extent, because you can go back to Godhead in one lifetime with focused attention.
Yeah, this is only human life we can pray.
I hope I'm not too late.
Can do.
I always feel that I'm too late or something. I could have started earlier.
Mataji,
there was one king who had helped the demigods, and he was very powerful in his military tactics. So he was called by the demigods to help them, because demigods have fights with the Sura and Asura, right? The demons and demigods all fight. So he went there and he commandeered their forces in such a nice way that the Devtas were very pleased with him. So they said, okay, ask whatever you want to ask. So he said, tell me, when am I going to die? And they said, oh, you know what? In the next 1 second, you're going to die. Now, of course, he was in the planetary system of the demigods, right? So 1 second there means a little more here on the earth. But then he came back, and then maybe 2 years or whatever, right? 2 months. But he did so much of focused attention that he went back to Godhead. So don't lose hope that it is too late for me. Do the right things. Adav sadhu sangha, adav shraddha. Even if the shraddha comes in the very late in the life, go and do the rest of the steps. Adav sadhu sangha, tata bhajana kriya, tata nishtha, tata ruchi, like that, asakti, ruchi.
Nivritti.
It'll happen. Yeah, anartha nivritti. It'll happen. But once you know, then you are, as a human being with a power to make your own conscious decisions, you should make those decisions in life. Then saying that this has become, it is coming to me so late. It's never too late.
Never too late.
Srila Prabhupada was a devotee all along, of course. Not a very good example, but I'm just saying that he wanted to do the preaching to the Western world. But when did he start? At 69.
69.
And he was able to achieve so much that nobody ever has been able to do what Srila Prabhupada achieved in those 13 years that he was with us in this planet, 13, 14 years. So it's never too late. It's all in our mind that says the body has become old, so I cannot do it, Because when you're doing devotional service, then Krishna takes special care. Krishna takes help of you. When Srila Prabhupada was coming to America, he was coming in a merchant navy ship, and he was going over the Atlantic Ocean. Now, the Pacific Ocean is not that turbulent. That's why it is called Prashant. Mahasagar, Prashant, it is Shant, right? But Atlantic Ocean is not like that. But when Srila Prabhupada came, his boat was completely smooth that even the captain of the ship was wondering that how come we had such a smooth ride. And Prabhupada says that, in his dream, he used to see that Krishna was pulling
Krishna is pulling the
boat with the
boat.
rope. So Krishna will take care. Krishna will take care. And that is the faith that we have to have. Just as we have faith in our parents, right? That if we go and tell all our problems to our parents, they will solve it. So we should have that kind of a faith in Krishna also, that he will also solve our problems.
That's right. And human life is something, Mataji. We never realized that this is the best life we had.
Yes.
We can chant, we can think of Krishna, we can do devotional service.
Yes, and you're not
Everything in
afraid that
this
somebody
life.
will eat you. Yeah, and you're not afraid that somebody will eat you.
Yeah.
Right?
So
You
that
try
is-
to go very close to a bird, you see how frightened they are and how they run away. They have
Yeah.
padam padam yat
Yeah.
vidam. Right? They are there.
But realizing, is very not much we realize like that. This is important. This is very important life we had, and very special life.
Yeah. So you have to make a conscious effort, right?
Yeah.
Especially for people who complain a lot, right? This is not happening. I'm
Yeah.
not doing this. I want this is not happening. To them, even if you go to a coach, life coach,
Yeah.
that coach was going to tell you that sit down and write all the good things that you had in life.
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised because we are in this habit of complaining.
Complaining, yeah.
This is not happening. This is not good. And we forget that if you are complaining about something, you are actually complaining about the creator of that thing, and you're complaining about Krishna, right? So again, all that comes from surrender. All that comes from humility. That is cultivated, and good
We
way
have to
of
work a lot.
do some seva. Your seva will save ya, says Guru Maharaj says. Okay.
I don't know when I can do my Guru Maharaj Seva again.
There you go. There you go. The complaint starts.
No, I did it once. I don't know when I will
This is what
get
it is.
opportunity.
You sit down and write. Why just your Guru Maharaj? Why not the place where you are living?
That's
There
true.
are Vaishnavas there also. Yes. So that's what I'm saying. Trying to say, inculcate that gratitude.
And then one thing,
despite I'm in America, despite the fact that my Guru Maharaj was so far away, despite that my Guru Maharaj came to my city to initiate me. Think about that, right? And we cultivate gratefulness. Let's get that. And on that parting note today,
Before you part, Mataji, just one last question.
Oh, you're still on the call. How come I don't see you? Okay, go ahead. Yes, though. I don't see you on the panel though. Okay.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So if you're focused on devotional service, you don't have to worry about all the other things that the yogis do.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, does that also mean, because, there was another chapter that we read, or I don't know which part we read, and I've read it elsewhere as well, that depending on which orifice of your body your soul, your prana passes out, that will determine the nature of your next birth or the lack of it. So if the person who's devoted, who's been engaged in devotional service, will their prana necessarily leave from the top of the head, which is the highest, where they attain the highest, or what if it goes through some other?
Yes. So the higher your consciousness is, okay, the higher your consciousness is, there are positions in your body around which the consciousness hovers, and those are called chakras, right? And so the higher the consciousness is, it is residing in some area, it'll try to go from the orifice that is closest to that. Okay. And so how can the consciousness be raised to that level? That is why people do pranayama, the Ashtanga yoga and all that, right? Dhyan, dharana, all that, to raise the consciousness at a higher level. Now, in devotional service, when you chant the verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, pranayama automatically happens. When you recite Sanskrit verses, pranayama automatically happens. When you do devotee worship, deity worship, which is elaborate, first with the ghee, 3 rounds here, 2 rounds here, 3 rounds here, 7 rounds here, right? Like that. And you have to constantly press the bell and then, do a different movement on the other end. It's complete focus. Right? So you will get into the dhyan method also. So devote bhakti, when you're doing bhakti, your consciousness will automatically rise without even you having to know how many chakras you have in this body and where exactly is my consciousness lying at that point. This will happen. It will happen. That's why they say that those who chant the name of Hare Krishna even once in their life, they will become human beings in the next life. You know? So consciousness, because the consciousness is already being improved and already being purified like that. Hare Krishna, Vande Wali Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
So and so that's why Krishna is saying this is the best bet. This is the best horse that you can bet on, Krishna horse. You put all your things on Krishna, and he will take care of you. He will take care of you. He says that, right? In each Upanishad, when he says, Vair, Anilam, Amritam, Athedham, Bhasmantam, Sharira, people think like, oh, I'm supposed to think about Krishna at the time of death. What if I go into a coma and I'm not able to remember Krishna? Well, you don't know what happens inside coma when people are inside coma. You don't know what Krishna is going to do. He's going to see like that, you know.
But not only that, it could also be an indication of, you know, your level of preparedness, your level of consciousness, whether you are meant to, you know, gain moksha this life or not, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah. But you won't fall into lower species of it, right? That also is a padam padam yat vipadam natesha. One can die and be born, you know, there's an elephant, and all that you do is eat. Like that. So we read verses from Bhagavad-gita and we read chapters from Bhagavad-gita, but we have to keep in mind that which chapters are focused for us. And Upanishad also says that, you know, you should be reading vidyam cha avidyam cha. Yes, you should learn the science and science side by side so that you can compare and contrast. So, okay, Ashtanga Yoga, what is that going to do to me? Okay, it's only going to take me to Brahma-jyoti. Why I did not focus on Krishna? Okay, chapter 12 is telling you. Chapter 18, Sarvdharman Parityajya, Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Sarvdharman Parityajya, what does that mean, right? That forget about, I have to do this.
All other religions.
Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshishyami masacha.
And then when he says, Aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshishyami, so he's saying, I will relieve you of all your sinful activities. And so sinful activities lead to misery. So miseries will also go away. So you see how by devotional service also miseries will go away. They will go away and they will karmani nirdhati kintuja bhakti bhajam. By your devotional service, your karmic reactions are burnt away like that. But when you go to demigods, you will say, oh, Mata, vipta taro. Vipta taro means that you postpone the vipta that is coming my way because they do not have the powers to annihilate your karmic reactions. They do not have. They will just push it out, postpone. Okay, you were supposed to get an accident today. Okay, you might have it next year. So for 1 year, we'll be happy. And then again, we'll go and pray to the demigod. And again, but it's going to happen. Unless we take to devotional service and wipe out that from our record. So better to take to devotional service to wipe out and clean up our record. Like that, right? Okay. Are we good? Yes, I was just going to say that on Sunday, we're going to have a Bhagavad-gita recitation classes. And then also on Sunday at around 12 noon, I will be in Devi Kumari Mataji's home, where more than a couple of months ago, we had started deeply reading the 4 question asked book written by His Grace Vaisheshika Das. So we'll pick up from the thread from where we left off. We will be broadcasting that on Zoom as well.
Hare Krishna Mataji, one last question. So the demigods, they just do bhoga and just enjoy, and then when the cycle ends, they come back as a human on earth?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
So they do prayers also to go to Golok Dham, or can you help understand it a bit?
Yeah, that's what I was saying, that the chances to do devotional service in the higher planetary systems are less. Chances in the sense that because there is so much of opulence. Okay. For example, if I tell you, Rupali Mataji, here, take this chanting beads and I want you to sit down and chant 16 rounds, and you chant properly with focused attention on every beat and the mantra that you are chanting, and every mantra that you chant you should hear. Okay, so you are doing that, and then somebody setting a table with opulent prasadam, and the good smell is coming along your way. So your senses are always looking, so they will catch that senses. Then it'll become difficult for you to do the chanting. So similarly, in the heavenly planets or higher planetary systems, the enjoyment is so vast, the enjoyment is so high that there is a big tendency and a big chance to forget. And that is why even the demigods want to come and take birth in this planetary system where we are. So we are very lucky that we are here. And in this planetary system, there is a concept of karmic reaction, that you do bad, you will get bad. Now, however, when you are in the upper planetary system, there the rules are different. So you see Indra sitting in front of ladies who are dancing. You see that? Is that devotional service of any kind? No, right? Will Indra be punished for doing that? And the surprising answer is no. Why? Because in the higher planet system, you're sent to the higher planet system to max out on the credits that you accumulated from doing pious activities here. Right? So he might have apsaras dancing and what all nonsense you can do in the upper planetary system. You won't be punished for that. It's just that your credit card limit will keep on decreasing. Shine punya, when all your punyas are exhausted.
When all the punya goes, what happens?
You will come down. You are actually
that's what I was thinking.
Yes.
Wait, you mean Indra would come down?
Yeah,
absolutely.
If all the credit goes.
Absolutely. If he
then who would take Indra's place? I mean, there has to be an Indra.
Indra is a position. Yes. Not only Indra. There are so many universes, and every universe will have an Indra, right? Every universe will have
like Brahma said, I am the only four.
Brahma is a position, Indra is a position, Narada is a position, Bali Maharaj is a position. All these are positions. Yeah, even Aruni is a position. Somebody else will be an Aruni and have the same experience.
Okay, Mataji, I'm not able to leave, I'm listening still.
So one last question, Mataji. So Nal Kuvera, the sons of Kuvera who became Arjuna trees, when they saw Krishna, did they get liberated and went to Golok Dham, or they went to Kuvera Dham?
I don't think they went to Golok Vrindavan. I'll have to check up my notes and see. They didn't go back there, but they became devotees of Krishna. And which means that ultimately they will go back to Golok Dham, but it's not that they immediately went back. Like how we see about Dhruv Maharaj, right? When he leaves his body, aeroplane came and took him to. But not, we don't hear that about Kuvera.
So is there any guidelines that you don't become demigod or something?
The only guidance is that you become a servant of Krishna. Okay? And if Krishna says, Rupali, become a demigod, you will say, okay, Krishna, you want me to become a demigod to manage the rain and the water and thing? I will do that, but I'll still continue to be the devotee. Right? So Indra can be a devotee. And then if that Indra is doing devotional service, even in the heavenly planet system, he will go back. That's what I said in the beginning of the class also, that if Brahma does devotional service, he and all his planet mates will go back at the time of annihilation. But if Brahma is not a devotee of the Lord, then he will come back. So the key is for you to become a devotee of the Lord. And once you become a devotee of the Lord, it doesn't matter to you, Swarga, Apavarga. It doesn't matter where Krishna sends you, you will go. Right? Because you're a surrendered soul to Krishna.
Okay, I'm leaving. I'm finally leaving.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. You see? For that person, it doesn't matter. Everywhere he goes, he will just chant and do service to Krishna, devotional service to Krishna. It doesn't matter. Just as for you, when you are making food for your child, it doesn't matter whether it is heat, whether it is cold, you do it with same love and affection. Right or right?
Yeah.
Same thing. When you go to love Krishna to that extent, then it doesn't matter. Look at Prahlad Maharaj. He was thrown into a snake pit. What was he doing? Praying. He was throwing from the top of mountain. What was he doing? Taking the names of the Lord. It doesn't matter to him. He was in such hellish conditions, right? Put into such hellish conditions by his father. And that is pure devotional service, right? Thank you, Aruni, for joining and for your questions. So, very simple. Become a devotee and make your aim to become a pure devotee, so that you can serve Krishna in a pure manner. And not because I'll become a pure devotee, then I can go back to Golok. Because pure devotional service is without any desires.
Without any desire. Yes.
Anyabhilashita.
So that means all the demigods must have aspired for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. 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 And that is why this philosophy that Srila Prabhupada has so lovingly translated for all of us in English so that we could read it, that philosophy is so powerful
And very meaningful.
and deep, right? Because so many of us do not even understand the difference between demigod and God, Devta and Bhagwan.
Bhagwan, yes.
We don't know the difference, right? We think Devtas are also Bhagwan. I grew up thinking that they all got Bhagwan. All right. So on that happy note of Bhagwan, we will take a leave. Vanchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhubhya evacha patitanam pavnebhyo Supremanande Hari Hari Bol. Happy Karthik, and remember to light the lamp if you haven't done that already.
Mataji, in the evening they are lighting the lamp to
You can light the lamp anytime.
Anytime.
Yeah, don't put restrictions on yourself. If you think the night is going to be busy, do it in the morning before you forget.
Okay, so once a day is okay to do it.
Once a day is okay. Anytime you do it is okay. Don't make devotional service such a chore that you will not want to do it. Keep it simple so that you will love doing it. So
the lamp,
if you can't sit with the lamp for the whole 8 verses of Damodar Ashtakam, it is okay. Yeah. You just show the lamp like this, sit down. Some other time of the day when you have more time, you chant the Damodar Ashtakam. But do it.
Yes.
Thank you.
There was a question from somewhere.
Mataji, I was just asking, the lamp should be lighted inside the house or outside the house?
Oh, you show the lamp to the picture of Damodar. Krishna is Damodar, where Yashoda is trying to bind him with a rope. You do that. Yeah.
And we show lamp to the Tulsi also in the evening. I mean, this is what was told in NVCC in Pune. So in the evening, everybody goes and prays to Tulsi Maharani also, and then Damodar Ashtakam we read and show the lamp there.
Mataji, do you have Damodar Ashtakam?
Ji Mataji.
No, Kiran Mataji, I'm not asking you.
No, Mataji, I was looking for that. I'll get it to. That's not a big deal.
I will send her.
Send her. Yeah, it's a beautiful song.
I have sent you, Kiran.
Say that again?
Your WhatsApp.
You sent it.
You sent it? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha